Check, 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 check.
Come on. You ready?
Check, 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 check.
Christine Funderburg, Cheryl Hunter, Aretha McDonald, Neil Thomason, Shalonika Upshaw, Christina Wilson, Cassandra Bird, Brenda Buchanan, Mae Murphy, Sherry Parker, Willie Fagans. Thank you.
Good morning. At this time, can everyone begin taking their seats? We will begin the program in 3 minutes. Please go ahead and take your seats.
Good morning, everyone. I like these glasses. Okay, good morning, Phoenix City Schools. Welcome to the Staff Institute 2026-2027 here at Central High. On behalf of Superintendent Nathan Walters, the Board of Education, and our leadership team, thank you for bringing your energy and dedication to our students today. My name is Kamori Johnson, and I'm a proud May 2026 Red Devil graduate, a district PR intern, and this fall, I'll be taking the confidence I built right here in Phoenix City to Spelman College. Phoenix City Schools is truly in my blood. As a second-generation graduate whose parents and grandparents walked these same halls, I stand before you today as living proof of the love, belief, and dedication sitting in this room. To all of our educators, especially those joining our district family this year, please remember that you are the keepers of that spark. You have the unique, life-changing power to help every student let their light shine. The confidence and passion you ignite in a child this year will carry them through graduation, drive them through college, and shape their families for generations to come. Thank you for choosing Phoenix City Schools, and thank you for choosing this life-changing profession. To begin our time together in unity and respect, we ask that after the presentation of colors, you remain in your seats for the duration of the program and silence all cell phones and electronic devices. At this time, please stand for the presentation of colors, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the National Anthem.
Color guard, hold. Color guard, hold. Color guard, hold. Present. Color.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the guns bursting in their gauge proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ready.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Color guard, hold. Mark.
Here you go, babe. Your turn. It's already on, okay? Go ahead.
No, it's a video first. Wow.
Is it pretty?
Yes.
Let's see it. Go. Yeah, he's ready. Go.
In the darkness, even the smallest light can change everything.
A single light brings hope. A single light reveals a path.
A single light reminds us that tomorrow is full of possibilities. Every student has a story. Some need confidence, some need encouragement.
Everyone needs someone who believes in them. Students may not remember every lesson, but they will remember how we made them feel.
Your encouragement, patience, and belief in them can last a lifetime.
As educators, we do much more than teach.
We inspire, encourage, and help every student discover their potential. A light doesn't shine for itself. It shines so others can see the way.
Every day, we have the opportunity to make a difference in the life of a child. Our light shines through the words, our actions, our compassion, and our commitment to every student every day.
This year, every lesson, every relationship, and every student matters.
When the students struggle, let your light shine. When a colleague needs encouragement, let your light shine. When challenges seem greater than victories, let your light shine. We have the opportunity to make a difference. Let your light shine. No matter where you serve, no matter what you teach, no matter who walks through your classroom door, let your light shine.
Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light, you're the light, you're the light, you're the light. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light, you're the light, you're the light, you're the light. The way my life turned out, I couldn't even plan for it. The way I shine the light so bright, know you got plans for it. I know you got blessings coming right now, lifting my hands for it. I do a little dance for it. Yeah, I pray for it. I've been waiting so long, so I'm gonna pay for it. I can feel you shining right now, and I can't ignore it. So we gon' praise you for it. Yeah, we gon' let you know, cause you deserve this glory. So I say this little light of mine, promise I'm gonna let it shine. I'ma let it shine. I say this little light of mine, promise I'm gonna let it shine. I'ma let it shine. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light. You're the light. You're the light. You're the light. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light. You're the light. You're the light. You're the light. The way my life turned out, I couldn't even ain't playing for it. The way I shine the light so bright, know you got plans for it. I know you got blessings coming right now, I'm lifting my hands for it. I do my little dance for it. Oh yeah, I pray for it. I've been waiting so long, so I'm gonna pay for it. I can feel you shining right now, and I can't ignore it. So we gon' praise you for it. Yeah, we gon' let you know, cause you deserve this glory. So I say this, the light of mine. Promise I'm gonna let it shine. I'ma let it shine. I say this, the light of mine. Promise I'm gonna let it shine. I'ma let it shine. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light. You're the light. You're the light. You're the light. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light. You're the light. You're the light. You're the light. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light. You're the light. You're the light. You're the light. Shine your light on me. Shine it so the whole wide world could see that you're the light. You're the light. You're the light. You're the light.
What a wonderful way to begin our morning. Please join me in thanking the Westview Elementary Choir. We will now center our hearts and minds with a moment of reflection to honor the lives of the colleagues and friends we lost this year. Thank you. I would like to welcome our Superintendent, Mr. Walters, to the stage to recognize our guests.
Good morning. Welcome to Institute 2026. This year's theme is, of course, Let Your Light Shine. They say you can't put religion in schools, and I cannot talk about religion, but you can always let your light shine. I hope you enjoyed that video. That was our principals and our administration that leads the call every day. It's been a tough road. They've gone through some tough storms, but they're going to be the ones to lead us this year. So give them a round of applause, please. It was important for me when Mr. Lorman and his class created this wonderful video. It was important for the ending to show Mr. Mayor Lowe. He often says your city is only as good as a school district. What he doesn't tell you is a school district is only as good as your city. We have a great mayor, we have a great Phoenix City Board of Education, and we have a great city council. It takes a village to raise a child. And I thank Mayor Lowe, the City Council, and the Board of Education for everything they do. Please give them a round of applause. We're honored to welcome some distinguished guests and partners whose leadership and support strengthen Phoenix City Schools. As I say your name or organization, just please briefly stand, remain standing so we can recognize you all together. First, the members of the Phoenix City Board of Education. Miss Yolanda Daniel, Mr. Jonathan Taylor, Miss Katrina Collier-Long, Mr. Steve Pace, Mr. Richard Carter, Miss Lakeisha Ligon, and Mr. Elliot Patrick. Thank you. To our Phoenix City Council members, we would like to welcome Mr. Mayor Eddie Lowe, Mr. Arthur Day, Miss Jasponica Florence, Mr. Steve Bailey, and Miss Vicki Carter Green. Thank you. Thank you to Miss Pat Waldrop of the Phoenix City Education Foundation. From our educational organizations, Dr. Alicia Ruffin, AEA UNISERV Director, and Mr. Harley Phillips of ACO. Thank you. From our educational partners, Dr. Cherie Booker of Grand Canyon University, Sandra Grainer of Reach University, and representatives of iTeach and the University of West Alabama. Thank you. We also want to recognize a few more district partners, the Pastoral Institute, AFLAC, Russell County Board of Registrars, and the United Way of the Chattahoochee Valley. Thank you. Last but not least, Representative Jeremy Gray is in the house. And our guest speaker today, Mr. Blake Russell. Thank you all for your support and what you do for Phoenix City Schools.
I'm shorter. We now have the privilege of welcoming the newest members of the Phoenix City Schools family. If you're joining our district for the 2026-2027 school year, please stand. To our newest employees, you were selected because your gifts, experience, and commitment matter. We're excited for the light that you bring to your school, your team, and most importantly to your students. Welcome to Phoenix City Schools. I would like to welcome our Human Resources Director, Dr. Sandra Coxum, to introduce you to our district and school leadership team.
Good morning. Amazing employees of Phoenix City School System. Leadership is the work of creating the conditions in which others can thrive. We will now recognize the leaders and schools who support the work daily, beginning with our fearless leader, Superintendent, Mr. Nathan Walters. Next, we will have our Director of Elementary Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Beatrice Thomas. Director of Secondary Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Sylvia Avery. Director of Special Services, Mrs. Mary Godfrey. Yours truly, Human Resources Director, Director of Federal Programs, Mr. Raphael Simmons. Chief School Financial Officer, Ms. Cherie McMullen. Director of Child Nutrition, Ms. Michelle Leon. Director of Career and Technical Education, Mr. Jason Sasser. Director of Student Services, Mrs. Vita Lewis. Director of Technology, Mrs. Mandy Loriman. Public Relations Specialist, Mr. Eric Robinson. Safety Coordinator, Mr. Cody Massey. Mental Health and Testing Coordinator, Ms. Kristen Champion. And our Instructional Technology Specialist, Mrs. Khan Gonzalez. We will now have a roll call of our dynamic schools, beginning with Central High School, led by the courageous Principal Chris Lindsay and Assistant Principals, Ms. Dawn Jenkins, Mr. Brian Larson, Mr. Robert Bowen. Next, Central Freshman Academy, led by the compassionate Dr. Sarah Weber and Assistant Principal, Mr. James Ray. Next, we have South Girard School, led by the sophisticated principal, Mr. Sean Taylor, and Assistant Principal, Ms. Victoria Johnson. Next, we have Phoenix City Intermediate School, led by the powerful Principal Kevin Scott and Assistant Principals, Ms. Cassandra Long, Ms. LaShawn Peterson Brown. Next, we have Phoenix City Elementary School, led by the phenomenal Dr. Octavia Williams and Assistant Principal, and Assistant Principal, Ms. Brandy Schultz. Next, we have Westview Elementary School, led by the wonderful Dr. Yentul Lee and Assistant Principal, Mr. Jason Rawson. Next, we have Lakewood Elementary School, led by the loving Miss Teresa Lawson and Assistant Principal, Miss Adrienne Thomas. Next, we have Lakewood Primary School, led by the legendary Principal Brandon Averett and Assistant Principal, Miss Courtney Hubbard. Next, we have Ridgecrest Elementary School, led by the radiant Principal Aretha McDonald and Assistant Principal, Mr. Scott Bates. Next, we have Sherwood Elementary School, led by the sensational Principal Lakeisha Person and Assistant Principal, Ms. Tamika Freeman. Next, we have Meadow Lane Elementary School, led by the magnificent Dr. Courtney Thornton. Next, we have the Early Learning Centers, led by the engaging Miss Kristen Ciancio. And we have Phoenix City Success Academy, led by the passionate Mr. Bryce Ciancio. Please join me in thanking these outstanding leaders and their schools for their service, vision, and commitment to every student. We will now welcome Mr. Steve Pace, our board member, and members of our great faculty for a special musical selection. Thank you.
There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings the fire, ignites the flame, and makes it hope. Your candle, rise to the darkness, bring out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world.
Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle and mixes home.
So carry your candle, turn to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and worn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. We
Thank you to our faculty for that wonderful selection. Now we'll talk about district milestones and accomplishment, but before we do, I want to give a shout out to our athletic director, Mr. Matt Bell, and our assistant athletic director, Ms. Danielle Mason. The 2025-2026 school year gave us much to celebrate. Across Phoenix City Schools, our staff and students demonstrated achievement, resilience, creativity, and service. We celebrated Teachers of the Year, Hope Sneed and Kelly Sasser. National Board Certified Teacher, Mr. Clay Ninus. And our CALT recipients, Ms. Linda Taylor Thomas and Ms. Romeo Upshaw. Within our schools, we recognize Savannah Dollar as a National Merit semifinalist and Mackenzie Jackson as Miss Phoenix City Teen. Our students earned the East Alabama Chamber of Commerce Young Citizens Award, that was a mouthful, in Fine Arts, Career Tech, Education, and Journalism. At the 2026 National Beta Club Convention, we had more than 50 students participate, with Lakewood Elementary earning over 12 top 10 placements, and our district celebrated national level leadership. District-wide, yeah, we can clap to that. District-wide, we advanced major initiatives, including our Professional Development Center renovations, the Troy University Property Expansion Project, the inauguration of our newest board members, 5 schools of character distinctions, 8 Purple Star schools, Lakewood Elementary's Blue Ribbon recognition. We also had library improvements at Meadow Lane, South Girard, and Westview, STEAM summer camps, SOAR summer learning, special education restructuring, and many, many, many new expansions of facilities and renovations. But it doesn't end there, because we also had the purchase of 10 new school buses this year, a revamped STEAM center, a record-breaking $73 million in scholarships for the class of 2026, 2 flag football national championships, meaningful fundraising, and plenty of community partnerships. Beyond that, we also expanded our employee resources to include a partnership with Grand Canyon University, educational options at Reach University, Troy University, the University of West Alabama, iTeach, as well as a praxis reimbursement. And then lastly, over the last 2 years, we invested over $1 million in security upgrades that included new cameras, Ricardo door access, metal detectors, vaping detectors, intercom systems, and these are just a few of the many, many accomplishments of this year. But what I do want to point out is these accomplishments are a reflect of the people in this room and in the cafeteria. But thank you for turning visions into results and turning opportunity into impact. Please welcome Ms. Thomas to talk about a new employee incentive to add to these accomplishments and milestones that begin this week.
Good morning, Phoenix City School family. My God, you all look absolutely gorgeous out there. Give yourself a round of applause. So before I go on my speech, I must ask, how many of you saw the email Friday? Be like, I'm not opening that for me to give me an email. Well, it is the truth. So let me tell you, to show our gratitude of your commitment to our students, the Board of Education has approved a new staff incentive program. This program recognizes your attendance and professional learning. So here's how it works. Okay, you ready? Full-time staff members will get a total of $1,000 each year. It is broken down per semester. $500 the first semester, $500 the second semester. But there's something you must do. You can't have more than 3 absences, and you must attend all professional learning activities in their entirety. For our part-time employees, you will get a total of $500, $250 per semester. 3 or fewer absences is needed, okay? So this is when you get that check, right in time for Christmas for some of us. Each semester will be evaluated individually, and your incentive checks will be distributed on the last work day of each semester. We are so thrilled to launch this program to celebrate your daily impact and dedication to our students and their families. Thank you, everyone, for all that you do to make Phoenix City Schools a huge success. Now, let's welcome Representative Jeremy Gray to the stand as he gives us information about our upcoming election in November.
Good morning, Phoenix City Schools. I'm State Representative Jeremy Gray, and I represent the 83rd District that covers Auburn, Opelika, and Phoenix City. And so I want you to pull out your phone, take notes, because this is going to be the most important information you're going to get. First, I want you to understand that there is a November 3rd election. And as we get closer to that election, last date to register to vote is October the 19th. And then when we talk about when absentee voting starts at the courthouse, whether you're going to mail it in or go in person, it's September the 9th. So those are important dates. I also want you to understand that if you have a change in address and you need to update it, you need to update it as well because it has to be a part of your registration. So if you changed addresses or moved anywhere, you need to update your registration. On the tip of elections, on August the 11th, there is a special election. Not everyone will be on the ballot. It's just really for congressional members. And so when you go to the poll, there's going to be 6 Republicans on the ballot, no Democrats, because the Democrat has already advanced to the general election, but anyone can vote, right? And so it's not partisan in a special election. You don't have to get a Republican ballot or a Democratic ballot. Anyone can vote, right? And so we have to just understand there's an August 11th election and also a November 3rd. What I'm really here to talk about is the ballot initiative. May 19, 2026, there was a referendum on the actual ballot. And a referendum is nothing more than a ballot initiative. To break it down a little bit more, when you're voting, it's the boxes on the side that you really don't understand the language, but most people overlook them. And so that ballot initiative was structured around a renewal of a 30-year tax. It's not a new tax, right? And so a lot of people got it misconstrued around a new tax. It's actually a tax you've already been paying, and you're going to renew it for the next 30 years. Phoenix City, it was $4 million. Russell County, it was $4.5 million. If you live in Phoenix City, you would see it on the ballot twice. You'll see it one time for Phoenix City, you'll see it one time for Russell County. If you live in the county, you'll just see Russell County. Why am I telling you this? Because if this doesn't pass on November the 3rd, Phoenix City will lose close to $100 million over 30 years. If this doesn't pass in Russell County will lose about $70 to $75 million over the next 30 years. In Phoenix City, this ballot initiative failed by 13 votes. In Russell County, 565, I think, is the number. And so as we get closer to November the 3rd, I need you to have boots on the ground. I need you to be a part of this campaign to get this across the line, because here's the implications of this. There's going to be budget cuts. There's going to be staffing cuts, maintenance, transportation, programming, and from a state component, we can't fill that gap, right? And so you have to go to the ballot. If you hadn't voted, this is the time to vote. If you don't care about voting for a candidate, vote for yourself and your school. As educators, we show up for students each and every day. We need to show up for the schools. So make sure on November 3rd, you go vote. If you want to vote early, do absentee. If you're not registered to vote, you can go out in the hall by the cafeteria. Mrs. Griffin is out there with these forms right here. But this is very important. I drove all the way here to tell you this is very important, because if we don't vote for this, we will have a decrease in funding, and that means your jobs, that means your programs, and so I don't want that. So if you need more information, let me know, but there will be a citywide campaign, a countywide campaign to get you to the ballot, and you are the foots on the ground. This is going to affect you, so you need to go to your churches, your community, groups, whatever, and get this message out. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Gray, for that great information. Now at this time, we will have Mrs. Linder Taylor Thomas to share with you information regarding the Alabama Education Association and give out some door prizes.
Good morning, Phoenix City Schools. My name is Ms. L. Thomas, and I am here as your AEA President.
Hi, my name is Aisha Connolly, and I am your AEA Vice President.
This morning, we are here in support of you, and we are giving gifts and prizes, but not only do we do this today, we also do this when we have our new hiree breakfast that we help support and our retiree dinner that we also support. And today, we're here to support you. When you hear your name, please come on down, and you are about to get some of these prizes.
All right, first up, Miss Deborah Holiday.
Miss Deborah Holiday.
She's coming.
Okay.
Miss Janina James. Miss Tammy Cannington. Miss Constance Spencer. Miss Gail Fuller. Miss Shakoya Albright. Miss Jennifer Green. Joel Davis. Miss Yvette Martin. Sierra McKissick. Miss Deja Davis Carr. Miss Beatrice Alexander. And Miss Yvette Martin. Miss Brooke Brown. On behalf of AEA, each person in this card has a gift card, and one person in the card, once you open it, is actually a raffle for a TV. And so that was one of the incentives that we did. So you just won, one of you just won a brand new TV. And this is just a little love token or a little love offering to let you know that we appreciate you, we love you, and this is on behalf of AEA. Miss Constance Spencer is the winner of the TV.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, good morning. Today we have the distinct honor of recognizing some remarkable individuals who have achieved a benchmark of continuous service to the children of Phoenix City. Your selfless dedication has shaped countless lives
and help build the foundation of our community's educational excellence. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized and remain standing until all the names are called in your group. We ask that you hold your applause to the end of each category. We'll begin with our staff members who have provided 5 years of continuous service. Melissa Adams, Batril Alexander, Joseph Alexander, Sanquetta Bronson, Shelley Baker, Taj Bryant, Kelly Dale Butler, Denise Bynum, Demetrius Cannon, Kelly Campbell, Deja Carr, Jacqueline Casharo, Thomas Casharo, Darian Cox, Lakeisha Davis, Liana Davis, Tanya Davis, Lenidra Deer, Aisha Denard, Kelsey Enfinger, Jasmine Felson, Valicia Fincher, Allison Gaines, Joseph Gardner, Daniel Glasgow, Kayla Habersham, Marquisha Hall, Ashley Hand, Cynthia Howard, Benjamin Hudson, Teresa Huffstutler, Catherine Kimber, Lexia Legrand, Jessica Leverett, Latrice Leverett, Veronica Lewis, Mark Lucas, Danielle Mason, Cody Massey, Georgianne Massey, Misty McMullen, Haley McPeters, Richard Nelson, Mark Netler, Christy Newsom, Jessica Perryman, Melissa Reynolds, William Richard, John Rogers, Alexa Shows, Rosalind Stickney, Day Story, Amber Swan, Jaquetta Thomas, Valerie Thornton, Roseanne Torbert, Jerry Ward, Ashley Williams, and James McLemore. Congratulations to all the people who did follow the instructions, but also congratulations to these dedicated members to 5 years of excellence, perseverance, and service to the students and families of Phoenix City Schools. Next up, 10 years of continuous service. Those who didn't get it the first time, you got a second chance. All right. Katina Adams, Sylvia Averett, Arnold Anderson, Charmaine Carnes, Richard Cook, Laura Foster, Keith Freeman, Catherine Garcia, Heather Groves, Terry Johnston, Emily Kilcrease, Yentl Lee, Cassandra Long, Stephanie Long, Kendra Morrell, Tia Parham, Matthew Paris, William Plummer, Katie Robinson, Sean Taylor, and Megan Valfrey. Congratulations to these dedicated members for a decade of dedication, loyalty, and impact. Now it's time to recognize our peers with 15 years, a dime and a nickel, of continuous service. Kelly Hall, Shaquita James, Jenna Jones, Lindsay Pittman, Christy Simmons, Angela Williams, Rogetta Williams, and Camelia Wilson. Congratulations to these dedicated members for 15 years of service, reflecting remarkable passion, purpose, and influence. Next, let us recognize our colleagues with 20 years of continuous service. Courtney Anthony, Derek Eccles, Sabangela Foster, Jenna Hall, Alex Kushmar, Angela Spivey, Michelle Wallace, and Meredith Walters. Congratulations to these dedicated members for 2 decades of commitment, leadership, and love for our students and community. Now for the remaining groups, we ask that you make your way to the stage via the steps on your right to be recognized. 25 years of continuous service. Christine Funderburk, Cheryl Hunter, Aretha McDonald, Neil Thomason, Shalonika Upshaw, Nathan Walters, and Christina Wilson. Congratulations to these dedicated members for a quarter century of unwavering service. Now, for our colleagues who could have just left the game 5 years ago with 30 years of continuous service. 30 years. All right, so we have Cassandra Bird, Brenda Buchanan, May Murphy, and Sherry Parker. Congratulations to these dedicated members for 3 decades of enduring commitment to the Phoenix City Schools community. And last, and most definitely not least, nowhere near, with 40 years of continuous service, Mr. Willie Fagans. Uh, 40 years of consecutive service is a historic and deeply meaningful achievement. Congratulations again, Mr. Fagans. Now let's give all these exceptional individuals a standing ovation for their incredible service and dedication. Thank you for your steadfast commitment to our scholars in our community. We will now have our teaching and learning department come up to present some awards.
Good morning. We will now recognize excellence in teaching and learning for the 25-26 school year. Awards include Professional Learning Team honors for highest ACAP proficiency and growth at the elementary and middle school levels, highest ACT proficiency and growth at the secondary level, District Teachers of the Year finalists, Special Services Awards, and the 2026 Administrator of the Year. As each category is announced, recipients should come forward, be recognized, and remain on stage for a photo until directed to exit. Our first award is for the highest ACAP proficiency at the elementary level. This award goes to the team that demonstrated exceptional proficiency in their students' academic performance. Please join me in congratulating the team from Lakewood Elementary's 5th grade ELA Professional Learning Team. Our next award recognizes the highest ACAP growth at the elementary level. This award honors the team with the most significant growth in the student learning outcomes. Help me congratulate the 5th grade math unit from Westview Elementary.
Congratulations, elementary people. Woo-hoo! Moving into our middle school awards, we recognize the highest ACAP proficiency teams. This award is presented to the team that excelled in achieving high proficiency levels in their subject area. Please join me in congratulating Phoenix City Intermediate School's 6th grade ELA Professional Learning Team.
I got to put 4 on.
Love it. Congratulations, PCIS. Our next middle school award is for the highest ACAP growth. This award acknowledges the team that has shown remarkable progress in their school's academic growth. Please congratulate South Science Professional Learning Team. So South Girard Science. I don't think they did. Let me say that once again so they can hear me. South Girard Science Team. They coming. Right here. They're over here. That's okay. Thank you. Congratulations. The next award is awarded to the highest ACT proficiency at the high school level. The team has demonstrated outstanding academic performance, achieving high proficiency. Help me congratulate, of course, Central High School ELA team. Congratulations. On this side. Congratulations. 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 Department. Congratulations, you all. Our final high school award is for the highest ACT growth. This team has demonstrated exceptional progress in their students' academic growth. Please join me in congratulating Central High School's math department. Congratulations. Congratulations.
We will now recognize excellence in our Special Services Department at the elementary and middle school levels for the 2025-2026 school year. Our first award is for the highest ACAP proficiency at the elementary level. This award goes to the team that demonstrated exceptional proficiency in their students' academic performance. Please join me in congratulating the Special Services team from Sherwood Elementary School, ELA. Our next award recognizes the highest ACAP growth at the elementary level. This award honors the team with the most significant growth in student learning outcomes. Help me congratulate the Special Services team from Westview Elementary Math. Our next award recognizes the highest ACAP growth. Moving on to middle school awards. We recognize the highest ACAP proficiency team. This award is presented to the team that excelled in achieving high proficiency levels in their subject area. Please join me in congratulating the Special Services team from South Girard School Science. Our final middle school award is for the highest ACAP growth. This award acknowledges the team that has shown remarkable progress in their students' academic growth. Please congratulate the Special Services team from South Girard School Math. South Girard School Math. So turn right back around. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our winners. Your hard work and dedication make a real difference. Thank you for all that you do. Let's keep striving for excellence this school year.
Still short. All right. The Employee and the Teacher of the Year program, made possible by the support of the Phoenix City Education Foundation, honors outstanding staff and educators who make a lasting impact in their schools and classrooms. Today, we proudly celebrate our school-level honorees and are excited to announce this year's District of the Year, Teacher of the Year finalists. Let's take a look. Congratulations to all of our finalists, Ms. Cameron Toole, Mrs. Cassie Porter, Ms. Alexandria Munnerlin, Ms. Felisa Fincher, Ms. Sophia Taylor, and Dr. Bliss Halverson. Your commitment to education inspired us all and sets a high standard for excellence in teaching. We cannot wait to celebrate all teachers and employees of the year at our reception in January. I will now have the honor of welcoming Mr. Nathan Walters to present Administrator of the Year.
It's really hard choosing an Administrator of the Year because we have such good administrators across the district. So again, I appreciate all of our administrators. But I do have the honor of a very special recognition, which of course is the Administrator of the Year. This award is given to an administrator who exemplifies what it means to lead with integrity, passion, and resilience. This year, this award is dedicated to someone who embraced a new challenge head-on, bringing an entire school together and supporting programs throughout their school campus. What stood out most is not just their willingness to take on something new, but how they did it with purpose, consistency, and a deep commitment to supporting those around them. This individual is someone who their school can count on. They lead by example, they support their team with intentionality, and they consistently rise above the challenges that come their way. It is with great pride that I present the 2025-2026 Administrator of the Year Award to someone who has truly gone above and beyond for their school and their district. Please join me in celebrating this year's recipient award, Principal of Central High School, Mr. Chris Lindsay. We don't want him giving a speech. Could the vice principals, Mr. Bowens, Ms. Jenkins, and Mr. Larson come on stage too, please? We had a board/leadership retreat at Callaway Gardens, and we had a fashion show. And this group of people won the fashion show, so we want to give them their chain for that fashion show. Oh. Go Devils. Oh, Mr. Lindsay, I'm so sorry. I bought you a personal gift. This is on behalf of the Central High School staff. You are my main elf. I'll say good morning again. Good morning. I hope you're all enjoying Institute, and just a couple quick things before we go to break. I've enjoyed Institute. I feel that everybody should have a mission and a vision statement, okay? Your vision statement is really aspirational. It's what you're aspiring for. And from watching Jamari Gaucher this morning, he actually said something that was in my speech, and I thought it was pretty cool. Changing the world by developing future leaders one person at a time, or changing one child at a time. That is just my vision for life. I think you have to build people up to get them where they need to be. And I think it's a blessing and a gift to help them. Then you look at the mission, which is operational, okay? How are we going to do it? And if you notice, we keep saying, let your light shine, let your light shine. That's how we're going to do it, by letting people let their light shine. Now, I want to explain some of that in a little bit of detail. Everybody has a light. Understand that. Everybody has a light. Some of you may have a really bright light, and that is great. You got to let your light shine. But the other part of it is, it doesn't matter how bright your light is, you have to help others shine. So if you have a bright light and there's somebody that has a dim light, if you're not letting your light shine, then you're really not doing the whole purpose of it, because you have to assist others. So that's the theme of Let Your Light Shine. And you may laugh when I say this, but I told somebody the other day that was complaining. I said, let your light shine, keep doing it. Let your light shine, keep doing it. Imagine if you say that every day. Someone complains. You ever met somebody that just complains? You just say, hey, quit complaining, let your light shine. Or, let your light shine and really complain, I'm just being honest. That's the purpose of Let Your Light Shine. I said it early. I do not want to offend anybody. They say you can't mix religion in school, and Jamari Gaucher, he didn't drop the mic, he threw it today. What he said was, you let your light shine, and that's how you get it in the school. How you act, how you present yourself, how you talk, how you dress can really uplift people. So I want to tell you a quick story before break. So I'm running for superintendent, and it's a very unique phase of my life I'm in. Okay, it's very unique. And I get a call one night at 10 o'clock at night, and it says Birdie Walters. That's my mom, okay? I've called her Birdie for 49 years. I don't even know her real name, okay? Now, you got to understand, when I get a call from my mom late at night like that, it's one of two things. Somebody's passed away or somebody's gone to jail, okay? And I answer the phone, and I say, what up, Mom? And she's, Nathan. And she's crying. I'm thinking, Lord, I got to drive to Florida and bail her out. This ain't good. And she says, somebody just sent me a Facebook post about you, and they're dogging you. She says, and I took it as a threat. And I said, Mom, I don't get into keyboard warriors. I don't do that stuff. I don't get into it. I don't get into that negativity. I said, I don't even look at it. She said, you will not run for superintendent. You will not. She said, you will retire and you will make your life easier. So I said, Mom, you don't understand. She said, no, you don't understand. I'm your mother. I'm not going to listen to all your quotes that you're going to repeat out of a book. I'm not going to listen. I'm your mother. You're going to retire. Do you understand me? Boy. And that's what she said. I mean that wholeheartedly. So I said, Mom, I'm running for superintendent. I don't know if I'll win, but I'm running because of what you taught me. I'm running because Dad was buried with a central hat. I'm running for Shamika. I'm running for Crystal. I'm running for Melvin. I'm running for Shaquille. I'm running for all those kids my first couple of years that I taught because I was such an awful teacher. I learned more from them than they did me. I don't know why y'all laughing. I'm dead serious. So at that point, my mom, she goes, oh, Nathan, I love you. You have to run for superintendent. Nathan, you have to. You're my favorite child. I'm not making this story up. Not trying to be funny. At which I said to my mom, well, make sure you call my brother Matthew and Meredith and tell them I'm your favorite child. And I do want to stress something before we leave this audience. My wife's name is Meredith. My sister's name is Meredith, and I'm not married to my sister. We're going to get that out of the way. But I do want to tell you about my first year teaching real quick. And it was about 26 years ago, and I actually taught at PCIS when it was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. It was the best year of my life, and it was the toughest year of my life. I don't know if any of the old school teachers are in here. I know LaShawn Peterson's in here, so she knows this. I wasn't being funny about it, but she and I taught together 26 years ago. Let me clarify that. I was teaching, and that was when they put you on a team of like 3 or 4 people. And that's when they ranked the kids. You had a low, a middle, and a high class all day. We had 100 of them. Which group do you think I got? It wasn't the middle, it wasn't the high. So I started teaching for about a month. And I'm eating lunch one day, and I was blessed with two team members, Judy Hill Tahita and Judy Holmes. One had been teaching 33 years, one 25 years. I learned more from them. I've actually wrote a speech called What I Learned from a Retired Teacher. I'm eating lunch, and I said, hey, I got to tell y'all something. I can't get to these kids. They're bad, and I can't teach them. I think we need to swap. I'd be kind of good for that high class. And I never forget, Judy Hill took a bite of her sandwich, and she looked at me, she said, boy, you need to take everything you learned in college and throw it out the window, and you need to make a relationship with those kids. Make a relationship. So I left. I started, my class, just to let you know, was 37 kids. So I started playing, and they were about 35 boys. I started playing basketball with them. That's what I started doing. So I started going to Pumpkin Bottom, Tin Top, Riverview, Fred, Sanford Road, playing basketball with them and taking them to the movies. Okay. Month goes by, we're eating lunch again. I said, hey, I got to talk. I've been working on the relationship part with them. I really don't like them, and it's just not working out for me. So I know that I wanted the high group, but I'll meet y'all. I'll take the middle group. I said, these kids are broken. And I never forget, Judy Holmes said, broken crayons still color. So I start teaching. Now it's coming on Christmas. You know, it's coming on Christmas. And I was blessed with a great administrator named Nicey Eller. She knows I'm about to quit and go into real estate and construction. And she says, Mr. Walters, unused blessing becomes a curse. She says, you're a good teacher. We need more males in elementary. If you quit, you're going to look back and you're going to regret it. You're going to be like that guy that stands behind home plate and yells at his kid because he was supposed to go pro and now he's living through his kid. She said, you're going to be one of them. So I come back after Christmas and I'm working and it's just hard. I'm just not a good teacher. We make it to the end of the year, and I'm going to be honest, that Beyonce song, I'm a Survivor or whatever, DMX, y'all gonna make me lose my mind, that's where I was. It's the end of the year. I'm leaving and we have our meeting, and I don't know how Nice Yeller could do this, but she could take all your scores and data and predict what it was the last day of school. Everybody's got a note card on their desk. And she says, everybody flip your card over. And people start flipping it over. This lady down the hall that's in the room, she made a 68 on some test. Another one, 66. Another one, 65. I've got my arms crossed, my hat on backwards, USC, because I like Reggie Bush and Matt Liner, and I'm not coming back. I did not flip my card over. At which point she said, Mr. Walters, can you flip your card over and tell us what your score is? I flipped mine over, and it was a 52, the lowest in the room. I didn't care. I survived. She says, we had the highest test scores in the history of fourth grade. Y'all thank Mr. Walters. She said, Mr. Walters, tell us how you did that. I didn't understand what she was talking about. She said, Mr. Walters, I need to know what you did because those kids averaged a 25 the year before. She said, Mr. Walters, here's what we didn't tell you. You have 37 kids, and let me tell you about the class I had of those 37. I had a full-time behavioral aide, I had an advocacy group that I had to document every 15 minutes what he did. I had a child that had autism, full-time aide. I had a child that was what we call a crack baby who would get under her table and chew her toenails. I had another child whose mother was in rehab for crack cocaine. And then I had a child whose mother was murdered. And they were going to court, and the person that killed her was being sentenced to the death penalty. I had a lot of challenges. And all I said to her was, I played basketball. That's all I did. I say that because that day I realized you don't lose, you win or learn. You win or learn. You're going to have hard days in education. Don't let the hard days win. Remember, broken crayons still color. Last but not least, it's the end of the year. We're leaving. Nice Yeller yells as loud as you can, Walters, don't quit. Here it is 26 years later, and I'm talking at Institute. All because made a relationship, broken crayons still color. Don't let your blessing become a curse. You either win or you learn. Don't quit. I say that because this phrase this year of let your light shine, I want this to hit home with you. It's not a phrase. It's an invitation. We're inviting you to let your light shine. If you notice, I don't talk about test scores a lot. I probably shouldn't say this in front of the board. Okay, you know. If you do the small things right and you lift people up, that'll take care of the test scores. And last but not least, because we're going to go to break, and we're going to stay on break 30 minutes to 10:30, then you're going to come back and you're going to listen to Blake Russell tear the roof off. And I mean that wholeheartedly because he's a great speaker. We are partnering August the 20th with United Way. That's the night we play Thompson. It's a Thursday night. And we're partnering with them, and it's called Let Your Light Shine Night. So I would like to welcome all of you Thursday night. I hope you have a great year. If there's anything I can do to assist you, feel free to reach out. Last but not least, is Miss Persons in here? Lakeisha Persons? Can you stand for a second? Stand. Today's her birthday. Can we sing happy birthday? Happy birthday, Miss Persons. At this time, we're going to go to break. Be back in your seats at 10:30, and I appreciate all of you, and let's have a great school year.
We are going to begin in 60 seconds. Please find your seats, and we will begin in 60 seconds.
All right, before we begin, if you are in the aisle, on the two sides, I ask that you try to make as much room as possible on the aisles if you can. Give about another 10 to 15 seconds to do so. If it's an available seat, please feel free to take it. Maybe another 10 more seconds. Thank y'all.
You are now listening to the sound of the voice of all city, Will Tracks.
Turn your lights on. 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 I need you to put the birthday person in the middle right now. Put the birthday person in the middle right now. We go 1, 2, 3. Somebody shine a light on them. 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 Now hold up. Now's the birthday person in the middle. Keep the birthday person in the middle and follow me, right? Follow me real quick. This is what I say. Make room, let them work. 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 Somebody shout a light on them. Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them. Somebody point to the birthday person. 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 Put some lights on the birthday person. Put some lights on the birthday person. Lights on the birthday person. Lights on the birthday person. Make room, let her work. 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 Somebody say, go best friend. Say, go best friend. Say, go best friend. Say, go best friend. Somebody shine a light on her.
Thank you to the members of our Central High School dance and cheer team for that energizer. Let's give them a round of applause. It is my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Mr. Blake Russell is a proud graduate of Central High School, class of 2001. After high school, he attended Central Alabama Community College before transferring to Chattahoochee Valley Community College, where he pursued both his education and his dream of playing baseball. With a promising future ahead of him, life took an unexpected turn as poor choices involving drugs led him down a path that ultimately resulted in incarceration at the age of 22. For the next 8 years, Blake lived a life marked by addiction, gang involvement, and drug trafficking within the prison system. But in 2012, while serving his sentence at Easterling Correctional Facility in Clio, Alabama, everything changed. Through the grace of God, Blake experienced a life-transforming encounter with Jesus Christ. That spiritual awakening completely redirected the course of his life and gave him a new purpose. After his release in 2013, God began writing a new chapter. In an incredible full circle moment, Blake was given the opportunity to return to the very prison where he found Christ, not as an inmate, but as a minister of the gospel. The place that once represented his greatest failures became the place where he now shares the hope and freedom found in Jesus. Today, Blake is the co-founder and pastor of 7M Ministries in Phoenix City, Alabama, alongside his wife and high school sweetheart, Krista Russell. Together, they are passionate about sharing the gospel, restoring lives, and building a community where people can connect physically, virtually, and spiritually through the love of Christ. Blake and Krista have been blessed with two wonderful children, their daughter, 7, who is 9 years old, and their son, Micah, who is 7. As a family, they live out their calling by pointing others to the transforming power of God's grace. Pastor Blake Russell's story is a powerful reminder that no one is beyond the reach of God's love, and that our greatest mistakes can become the foundation of our greatest ministry. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our very own, to our keynote speaker, Pastor Blake Russell.
Good morning. Well, it's I was telling Nathan backstage here, I may shed a tear or two, and if I do, I'm okay with it. going to prison will knock off any complex you think you might have. But it is a full circle moment for me, and I'm probably not going to stand by this podium that long. I'm walk like Nathan did, but just even hearing her read out my bio, these moments, even though I'm a career speaker, my job, my vocation, and my calling in the Lord requires that I speak on a week in and week out basis. But there's some surreal moments that I come to, and I remember the first time that I went to Easterling, I went back into the very prison that I got saved in. It was an emotional time for me. And so this one's probably going to do the same thing. It is a complete honor to be here with you guys. I know a lot of you, some of you I don't. Some of you I remember your faces from 20 years or so back when I saw you come up and receive rewards. Like she said, I am a graduate of Central 2001. Amen. Praise the Lord. The last time I stood on this stage was for baseball awards in the spring of 2001. The last time I was in this school was 2017, but so much has changed. It feels more like a college campus to me than it does a high school. We've been going to Glenwood for a little while, and it's like storage units compared to this place. But we're happy there, and we're proud of what they're doing too. But I want to say this, like she said, I am a son of Phoenix City through and through. From my mischievous years to even now pastoring a church inside of Phoenix City. I mean, for the Lord's sake, I got Phoenix City tattooed on my arm, on the right bicep. And so I am a son of this city. I say that often. I know these streets. I know every aspect of this city. I know the school system. I know the police system. I know most of the government and the city officials. And it's an honor to be here. Like I said, I walked these halls for 4 years. In 1998, I was a freshman here. I rode with your athletic director, Matt Bell. I rode with one of your board members, Jonathan Taylor. And I won't say anything past that, Jonathan and Matt, so you're safe with me. But I rode with them. I rode with Doc. I rode with Sean Polk, and I was a freshman here in 1998. I was a young freshman. I came here from South Girard. I didn't turn 14 until September. And so I was 13 when I walked these halls. When I walked in a minute ago, we came down the top floor, and I was looking at the lockers, and it was just nostalgia just hit me. And so I was here. I walked these halls. My childhood, getting into my story, I was normal. The only part of my childhood that was abnormal was my parents went through a divorce when I was 4 years old. And if you think back, I tell this a lot of times when I tell my testimony, if you can think back to your earliest childhood memory, everybody has one. The mind will go only so far back. Some of us go back to 10. Some of us can go back to 2 years old. But the earliest memory I have is my dad holding me in a driveway as my mom is peeling out. She's got this big blue Pontiac, and there's gravel flying everywhere, and she's leaving him. And that was the earliest childhood memory I have, and that was the only abnormal part of my upbringing. Outside of the divorce, my dad remarried, my mom remarried. It was very normal. And I played baseball, I played t-ball and coach pitch, and had all the nice things. And, so there wasn't anything that would have told you, this guy's going to go on to spend 16 years in addiction. He's going to go on to do 8 years in prison. You wouldn't have looked at me my freshman year. I was not an A-B honor roll student, but there was nothing that was telling you that Blake was going to go and live the life I lived for essentially 15 years. I was one of the kids that you're teaching this year. There was nothing laid out. Nobody in my family had ever went to prison. Nobody in my family, drank alcohol. Nobody smoked cigarettes. Nobody smoked marijuana. Nobody cussed. Nobody had ever joined a gang. Nobody had ever been arrested. There was good morals in my family, just like a lot of the kids that you're going to teach this year. And so growing up, everything was normal. Great vacations. Baseball was a big part of it. And my parents co-parented to the best of their ability. But looking back, there was nothing. And I'm going to get into that as I go on. But I played baseball. I graduated here in 2001. I went to college on a full-ride baseball scholarship up at Central Alabama Community College. I chose junior college because it was only 2 more years of school. And I was counting the cost. If I sign 4 years, then I got to go to school 4 years, and we're going to hang our hat on getting drafted. So we're only going to go 2 years. And so I picked, at that time, Central Alabama was a powerhouse junior college. They were ranked number 3 in the nation. We went 49-9 my freshman year. I followed the likes of Jonathan Herndon, Darrell Griggs, and Tommy Clarity, some of my childhood friends there. And I had a really good freshman year. I led the nation. This was maybe prophetic. I'm not leading the nation in salvations right now, but I led the nation in saves as a junior college freshman. I beat a kid out from Arizona. He had 15. I had 18. When I left Central, and you know, I was a 4-year starter here. I didn't want to be a closer. A closer is the guy that comes in and they shut the last 2 or 3 innings down. But I become to like the role as time went on. I could goof off in the dugout and then just get ready in the 6th and 7th inning and go out there and throw gas and shut the game down. Well, that took notice of some scouts. I was 18 years old. I was 6'4". I was about 205 pounds, and I had a 91 to 93 mile an hour fastball at that time. And so I was very close. I was on my way. I was your prototypical. I was telling my 7-year-old son the other day, he asked me, he said, "Dad, were you any good?" And I said, "Son, when God spit out a Major League Baseball pitcher, he spit your father out." This is what they were made to look like. Long arm, 6'4", 205 pounds. And so I remember the head coach at Alabama, Jim Wells, he come to watch me throw a bullpen at practice one day. He wanted my transcripts early. And there was scouts that began to come and watch me throw bullpens. And but it didn't pan out. I was a Hollywood-sized ego with a 12-year-old character level. All my life, baseball had opened doors for me that my character couldn't maintain. And so I got caught selling weed to the team up there. There was 22 of us on the team. 18 of us smoked marijuana. And so I brought all the weed back from Auburn. I would stop by and see my childhood high school sweetheart who's in the front row. And I would use her dorm room as a selling point, and I would get weed from Auburn and take it back to Alexander City. Well, Coach Don Ingram found out about it, and he kicked me off the team. I walked into his office one day on a Monday, and I thought he just wanted to tell me there'd be another scout or another 4-year school that was coming to watch me throw a bullpen. When I walked into his office, he had my release papers signed, the president had signed them, and the dean of students had signed them. I lied and said, "Coach, I'm not selling marijuana. I can pass a drug test," which it was another lie. But I knew if he could give me 5 or 10 minutes that I could get somebody with a clean urine sample, and I could do what I had to do. I don't know where we learn to be manipulative like that, but we learn it at an early age and nobody teaches us. You know, but I learned the system. And so he said, "That won't be necessary. You got to go, Blake." And so I called Coach Adam Thomas, who recruited me out of high school. At that time, nobody really wanted to go from Central Alabama to CVCC. That was a step down. But I called Coach Thomas and I said, "Coach, this is the situation." He said, "Well, are you telling me the truth?" And of course I lied to him. And I said, "Yes." He said, "Can you pass a drug test?" Of course I lied again, and I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, if you can pass a drug test, meet me Thursday and I'll give you a scholarship." So I got somebody's urine and passed a drug test. And I signed for CV and started playing ball for them in the fall. And it was a Sunday afternoon in Gadsden, Alabama. I was pitching in a tournament. And there were some scouts that had come to watch another guy throw, and they took notice of me. It was like the 7th or 8th inning, and I had around 9 strikeouts, and I was still running a 2-seamer at 91 and a 4-seamer at 92. And I walked out of the dugout for a minute. There was 2 Brave scouts that wanted to talk to me. It was like the 8th inning. They had to go. They had to catch a ride back or a plane or something. And they said, "Son, we really like what we see. You weren't even on our radar, but we want to get your information, and we're going to be in contact. And we got 3 things we want you to do. Go to class, listen to your coaches and your teachers, and keep your nose clean. This time next year, you got a chance to be making some money playing baseball. What do you think about that?" Well, at 19 years old, been in school all my life, that sounded amazing. That's the only thing that sounded good. I did not want to go to Alabama for 4 years, War Eagle. I just didn't want to go to Alabama or any other school. I was done with school, and I knew my arm and my talent level was the ticket out. That was a Sunday. Tuesday, I'm at a house right over here behind Lakewood. I'm not on the south or west side. I'm not over off Casita Road. I'm behind Lakewood. I'm behind Lakewood, and narcotics agents, I'll say it again, I'm behind Lakewood. And narcotics agents kicked the door in on a drug bust that they had been watching the house of my friend and his father for 2 months. And I just happened to be an accessory to the bust, waiting on her to come pick me up so we could go to the fair. And I went to jail that night on a possession with intent to distribute. I had 7 blunts individually wrapped up in my pocket. And her mother came and bailed me out. Well, of course, a student athlete can't catch a felony and remain on scholarship, so I went to see Coach Thomas, and he asked me, he said, son, why don't you come live with me? Move in with me. Him and his wife had just had their oldest son. He said, move in with me. In 8 months, you're drafted and you're out of here. And I did what most 19-year-olds did. I saw a way out. I saw a way to party. I saw a way not to go to class. I saw a way of not to have to go to practice. I saw a way out of having some teacher or some coach hover over me every day of my life. And I said, Coach, give me a couple weeks, let me get my mind right, and I'll let you know. He said, you pay for your school in the fall. The rest of the fall, I'll get some grants for you. You won't have to pay a dime. In the spring, I'll give you a scholarship back, and you get drafted next year. All I could think about was I get to hang around and party all day. Well, those couple weeks turned into a couple months, and those couple months turned into a year. And Coach Thomas would later tell me, son, I had scouts come by my office and email my office and fax my office for 8 months after you. We're no longer playing baseball, and they just had to know, where's the Russell guy? And I eventually had to tell them he's no longer playing baseball. It wasn't an injury. It wasn't a family issue, and they kind of took the hint. He was a problem issue. And within that next year, I would violate that probation, and I would go to jail for the first time. I would do a month in the county jail. Now, mind you, I'm from Central, so I went to public school. So I'm okay around whatever color. And I was an athlete. When I walked into that county jail, there was a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of fear, not from like fear of what's going to happen to me, but fear of the unknown. And I did a month in the county jail. I got in a few fights, and I realized that the county jail wasn't going to kill you, and that I could actually fight okay. I was an athlete. You know, I know how to use my body. I know how to shift my weight. I knew how to throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So if I came over the top on somebody, I just threw one fastball. Well, I got out, and that wasn't enough. I violated again, and I would go back to do 2 months in the county jail. By this time, baseball is drifting farther and farther away from the dock. By this time, my high school sweetheart has went on to be Miss Phoenix City. She's drifting away from the dock. She comes and sees me. They got to let her in the county jail at 8 o'clock at night. Sergeant Steve Johnson comes and unlocks my cell one night. And he says, come here, you are an idiot. He said, what are you doing with your life? And standing right next to him was Lieutenant Osteen. And they said, your girlfriend is Miss Phoenix City, and she's up here to see you. We can't let her in during normal visitation hours because she's a public official. Krista comes up there one night and tells me she has to leave me. Our lives are going in 2 totally different directions. And I was so prideful, I said something along the way, well, bye, you know. And so then I would get out after those 2 months, and I would violate again, and I would go back to do the remainder of my sentence in prison. I stood in front of Judge Green, and he said, Blake, your good looks and your character ain't going to keep you out of problems your whole life. He said, I sentence you to the rest of your probation, 15 months, hard labor, Department of Corrections. Now I'm standing at the back gate of Kilby, the biggest camp in Staten for the first time. I went through, because I'm an overachiever, I went through it a couple times. Whatever I've done it 1,000%. If it was baseball, 1,000. If it was the streets, 1,000. If it was prison, 1,000. If it's pastoring and preaching, 1,000. I got 2 gears, sleep and go. And so when I stood at the back gate of Kilby, I'm looking at this 1,800 inmate camp, a little bit of anxiety from the fear of the unknown, but not fear. And the same thing in the prison. I was an athlete. Only white boy allowed. I went to Central. Only white boy allowed on the basketball court out of 200 inmates. They always want to know, where did this guy come from? I had 334. I got it tattooed on my stomach. My first tattoo is PC, Phoenix City. It don't stand for protective custody. And so they wondered, where is this white boy from? I'd go from the basketball court, and I'd go throw horseshoes with the old heads. Old people, we call them old heads in the prison. I would go play soccer with the Migos, and I'd play softball with everybody. So 15 months in prison didn't do anything to me. I created more networking skills. Prison is like this. If you have a family member that goes to prison, they come home worse, don't hold it against them. And I ain't pointing out whatever. The system itself is broken. All right? Prison is like LinkedIn for criminals. I don't need your email. I can go do a couple months with you, learn your connections, learn who you have in your pocket, and then we push the pedal even more. I came home after 15 months, and I thought, that ain't that bad. And it wasn't that bad. Prison was actually a cakewalk. You have no responsibility other than make your bed, go to chow when they tell you to, keep your face shaved, and that's it. You can sit on your phone all day and manipulate your family, your friends, or some woman or some guy you met on Facebook. And so after 15 months, I come home and I thought, that's all they got? That's all Judge Green, Judge Harden, Judge Johnson, Judge Gray, Judge Graham, that's all they got? That's their trump card is prison? That's the fear tactic they have used this whole time? If you don't tighten up, you're going to prison, run it. Run it a couple times. Because that was my first run. It was 15 months. And so anytime I came out, I tried to do right for about a year. I worked for my dad. He was a general contractor, and I made about $400 a week. And I'm seeing my buddies make that before lunchtime selling cocaine. And praise God, most of the men in my life, they're gone. That kid's house I was at that they kicked the door in, he died 5 years ago of a heroin overdose. I did his funeral. The guy that taught me, that put me on selling cocaine, he died 3 months ago. I did his funeral. All my buddies are gone or in rehab or their minds are gone. That's why it's surreal when I come up here, because it's a testament, and I know where we are, Nathan, but it's a testament of the one who does shine the light's grace. It don't make sense. My life doesn't make sense outside of him. I am an anomaly. When I got out of prison the last time, I'm going to go back, but I remember I had one of my best friends walk up to me. After 2 years, I met him in Home Depot, and he said, I just got to hug you and apologize to you. I said, for what? He said, I told everybody you got 6 months. This whole God thing is a fad. He'll be back on dope. Anything I'm doing now is a testament to him. And so I do okay for about a year. I go back to the street. A couple months go by, and I go back. I run from the police out in Harris County, and I do 6 months in Muskogee County Jail. And then I go back, I get out after 6 months, and I do 3 months on the street, and I would go back to do 5 years and 39 days of prison. So from the time I was 22 till I was 30, I was locked up all of that time with the exception of 22 months. I'm on Facebook in that time. I'm watching all of my peers. I'm watching her. I'm watching people that I went to school with. They're graduating from Auburn or Alabama or Troy. They're signing their first mortgage. Some of you are having your first child. Some of you, whatever it is, and I'm sitting in prison. And so the anger and the shame and the condemnation that knowing that I had washed away and gave away that life that you were living, those of you I grew up with, I would just get high or I would fight. In 2008, I'd go back, like I said, on a trafficking methamphetamine case. Some people that are my friends now were the lead investigators that are arresting him. Officer Mike Lawless and Sheriff Heath Taylor, those guys saved my life. They saved my life. Those first 3 years of that prison term from 08 to 2010, 2011, I became an intravenous drug user. I started putting a needle in my arm. I became a gang member. Remember, anything I do, I'm going to do it 1,000%. And so those first 3 years were full of shame and condemnation. Let me see where I'm at just so I don't get off my notes. But something happened in 2012. I was transferred April 22nd of 2012 after being in that state and correctional facility for 3 years. Now, I got transferred not because I got transferred because I was doing good. I got put on what's called a C-51 lateral transfer. It's like if they expel a student from this school system, he has to go to another school system. I got expelled from a prison. A C-51 lateral transfer is when they take an inmate and they say, we can no longer tolerate him, we don't want him, we're going to change out his scenery, we're going to ship him across the state, give us one of your problem inmates. And what they're doing is they're just changing the demographic of the man, hoping that a new environment will change him. I had caught 24 major write-ups in a 19-month span. insubordination, fighting without weapon, fighting with weapon, creating safety and security and health hazards, insinuating riots, disobeying direct orders, getting caught with prison contraband, cell phones, knives, everything. I have done lockups. Jesus. I have done time in lockup cells. There's not a space up here that's small enough. I'm trying to give you an example. Shawshank Redemption, where they put you in there with nothing but a mat and your boxers because they don't want you hanging yourself from anything that you can reach. And so I got transferred from state in April 22nd, 2012, and I went into 30 days of lockup time at Easterling Correctional Facility in Clio, Alabama. It's the middle of nowhere. It's a cow town. There's nothing in Clio but that prison. And I love that place. I go there every month and preach the gospel in that chapel. Something happened, though, in those 30 days, and I'll get to where I'm landing my story. I got about 10 minutes left. In those 30 days in that lockup cell, something happened to me for the first time since I was 13 years old. Every month, every week of my life in this high school, there was some kind of toxin in my body, whether it was tobacco, weed, or alcohol. For the first time in my life, since I was 13 years old and I was 29 years old, I got sober. Not by choice. That lockup cell was my rehab. When I came out of there was a couple of guys that I knew that said, hey, they used to call me Bird. That's what's tattooed on my arm. They said, Bird, if you want to make a run, we got to play, which means if you want to get something into camp, we got an officer or a way in. Because I was known to be somebody that could get things into the prison. Personable guy, athlete, cross all cultural boundaries. Right? But something inside of me said, don't do it. I didn't know what it was, but I just said, I don't know, man. Let me see the layout of the land. And so I didn't make a move. I didn't get anything shipped there. I didn't do anything. And for 6 months, I just got sober. I got back on the weight pile. When I got shipped to that prison, I was 171 pounds. I'm 210 now. That gives you an idea. Imagine me 40 pounds lighter. I came out, I worked out for about 6 months. I started playing basketball again, and I walked into the chapel of Easterling Correctional Facility in November of 2012. And I know where we are. And I asked the light. I said, if you're real, I want to know. I got to know. I said, I'm not looking to get out of prison. I don't want the girl of my dreams back. I don't want any money. I just need some peace. And I'm in this chapel and I'm crying, if this is you, please don't stop. I wasn't talking to nobody. There wasn't nobody around me. I just said, if you're real, I want to know. Something happened that day forward. I left that chapel after crying my eyes out for about 10 minutes, and I walked back to general population dorm, and there was something that happened on the inside of me. I could no longer cuss. I could no longer drink or smoke. I couldn't engage in any conversation that didn't edify me on the inside. I have a hard time doing it now. If I'm in a casual conversation, I'm chomping at the bit. I want to talk about what the light's doing. I would go on to get mentored and tutored for 19 months by some men of God that are very close to my heart. Elliot Janigan. He's a young black man in 1991. He got caught up in a drive-by shooting in Tuskegee. 3 murders, 3 consecutive life sentences, and he's the one that led me to the light. Jamie Faulkner, Pastor Curtis Dolman of Praise Ministry Tabernacle, and Condi Moses, one of my best friends that lives in Uganda. Since that time, I've been out. Me and Krista reconnected in 2016, like the bio said. What has happened in my life, I've owned 3 businesses. We have 2 children. I'm the pastor of a growing and vibrant church in Phoenix City. So my life has come full circle. Our daughter's name is 7 because she was the seed of the promise of the full circle moment. 7 means completion. But I can't. Now that's my story. I had to paint a picture. And I don't know if they're in here. I don't think they work for the school system anymore. But if I say your name, if you're in here, I just want to hug you when this is over with. That's my story. But I can't tell you how many times, y'all, and I'm not just doing this because this is the Institute and because Nathan said, would you come speak? There are times in my life in the middle of all that trial, all that mischief, all that stuff, that I would lay on those prison racks at night. I would lay in those lockup cells because all you have time to do is think and praise him that I didn't lose my mind, because there's men who sat beside me in cells who lost them. And I would lay there and I would replay the last 15 years of my life, and I came to a couple conclusions. Number one, it was nobody's fault but mine, the situation I was in. It wasn't the system. It wasn't my parents. It wasn't Judge Green's. It wasn't Jamie Graham's. It was nobody. It wasn't Mike Lawless. It wasn't Tom Franklin. It was my own fault for my own decisions that I made that got me to the place that I'm at. When you're young and you're running through these halls, you have no reference point for what people are saying to you, and they may not. But I remember a couple teachers in this place. One actually sent me a picture last year, and I believe her husband's on the board, Mr. Patrick. I believe he married Miss Ramsey, right? She was Miss Abercrombie when I had her. Miss Abercrombie, Miss Ramsey, Miss Patrick. She sent me a picture from last year, and she said, "I'll never forget when you gave this to me in the 8th grade. I had her in the 8th grade at South Girard, and then she came up to the 9th grade, and I had her for English in the 9th grade. And she had a picture that I drew her in the 8th grade of her future house." And that told me right there, man, she must have been someone I really loved in 8th grade to draw Miss Abercrombie a picture of a house that I wanted her to live in. And she told me how proud she was of me. But let me tell you what she did in my life in the 9th grade downstairs in her English class. I'll never forget one day, and I thought about this laying on my rack, and you teachers, I was laying on my prison rack, and I remember one day she told me, she said, "You'll never understand the potential that you have, Blake, unless you start giving everything your all. Because you're going to go down some roads one day that you're not going to want to go down." And whether it was the Lord or whatever, I would think about her words as I'm laying on those prison racks. So don't bypass the words that you say to these kids. Some of them are going to go down that road. It's just inevitable. Some of them are going down that road. I'll never forget Miss Blackshear, who was Miss Adams, then Miss Blackshear. I think now she's at Glenwood maybe. I had her 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 12th grade social studies. She moved up every year I moved up. And she would call my name out. First day of roll call, she'd be getting it. She'd say, "Roger Blake, hold on, where are you?" "Roger Blake Russell." And I'm in the back, far left. I'm sitting beside somebody I don't need to be sitting beside. And she'd say, "No, sir, right here." And I had to ride the whole year with my desk next to hers. And it was the first day of school. I hadn't even done anything yet. I knew that woman loved me as a person. She said things to me. Miss Abercrombie, Miss Blackshear, Coach Ron Nelson. Golly, that man. I had just beaten Opelika for the area championship my senior year. He pulls me down to right field after snatching my earring out of my ear that I tried to cover up with a Band-Aid because I just got my right ear pierced. And he says, "Son, let me tell you something. You got an option here. You can go play baseball as long as you want to. You got the potential and the body to go all the way, but you got to make a decision." And there was 2 Bryans, and I'm not going to say their last name, but there was 2 Bryans that come through this school. Both of them had major league talent. One of them went to play for the Blue Jays, and the other went down the road I went down. And Coach Nelson said, "You got to choose. Do you want to be a Brian so-and-so or a Brian so-and-so?" He said, "Because you have the opportunity to do either one of them." And I said the right answer. "Coach, I want to be that Brian." I would see him about 7 years later in the Chevron across the street from the field. He had walked over to get a drink, and I'm strung out on dope. And I saw him come in the other side of the station, the gas station. That's my high school coach. I grew up with his daughter and his son. I had to leave the gas station from shame. And I'm laying on my prison rack years later, and I would laugh inside myself thinking, well, I guess I answered Coach's question. I became that other Brian. I remember Lieutenant Fields. Lieutenant Fields came into Staten one day, and he looked at me, and he said, "Blake, there's one thing you're going to learn to do in my prison. You're going to make that bed up, and you're going to put that 6-inch collar on it." Or he would come by, he was military, he'd flip that quarter. That man changed my life that day. He changed my life. I needed a man to stand face to face with me and say, "Look here, son, you're going to do this, you're going to do it with excellence, and you're going to do it to my standard." I want to tell y'all this before I close. These kids, we do it. We minister to gang members. We have to ask them to leave their 9 in the garage before they get in the car before we take them to Walmart. They're so scared the minute they cross the water. The Colga documentary, we were talking about that. I was in a documentary, and we took 3 of those kids into our home. They lived. We closed the garage in for them. These kids remember 2 things. TK remembered 2 things. Gunner remembered 2 things. JJ, all these boys, all these kids that I minister to on a week-to-week basis, they want consistency and they want authenticity. My knuckles say way too real. And there's no more truth in that statement. I remember Miss Blackshear, I remember Miss Ramsey, and I remember Coach Nelson. And I had dozens of teachers. Why? Because when they looked at me, there was something in their eyes that said they care. That I wasn't an inconvenience. They were stern, but they were merciful. These kids need consistency. Nathan, they need the basketball stuff. Some of these kids, the only structure they're going to get is the 30-so minutes, or I don't know, we used to do 90 minutes, or however long they're in your classroom. You are the standard that they see. Some of them are coming out of standards that are not healthy. Let me tell you this, as a pastor, your social media is a standard. They do follow you. Breaks my heart when I see people in leadership positions, Lake Hardin, Panama City, Cleavage with a Michelob Ultra, whatever. And then the kids come to church and I'm like, well, where you go to school? Let me talk about your teachers. And they tell me, and I'm like, God, what's the standard? Men, these boys, they need to look and see men of righteousness. Men that do what they're going to say. Men that when they smile, their handshake matches it. Ladies, they need to see purity. They need to see love. They need to see mercy, but with a mother's heart. So don't downplay your role this year. Take time. Be present with them. Don't be partial. Don't be biased, no matter their color, their political rank. I'm a pastor, and let me tell you the thing that divides this country the most is racism and politics. My church is about 70 Caucasian, 30 African American. And I go after that. Trump is my president. Jesus is my Savior. Spirit all week long. But I also go after the other one. These kids, you are the standard. You should toe the road. Let your light shine. It actually says, so let your light shine that men may see it and glorify your Father in heaven. When they see your life, it should cause them to, number 1, know that you love them. Number 2, know that there's a better standard to live by. Number 3, know that there's no partiality with your love. Even in that same word, it says, why do you love those who are just like you? Don't even the sinners do the same thing? But I tell you, love those who are nothing like you, and you will be like your Father in heaven. Some of my greatest memories were in this school. And when I was laying on those prison racks, most of them wasn't about baseball. It was like God had on replay all the good teachers that stood in front of me. You are frontline workers. You're going to spend more time with them than I am. You're going to spend more time with them than the parents are. Let your light shine. Love them, love each other, and love the Lord. Thank y'all.
Testing. There it is. It's not good having to come and give a speech after that speech. Can y'all give him another round of applause, please? You know, we got about 5 more minutes, and I do want to let y'all know we're going to get out a little bit early. This was to go to 11:30. It's about 11:15, so we're going to get out about 11:20. When you leave, first of all, I hope when you came in you got a hat. If you didn't, there's a hat out front that says WA, it's a red dot, WA, and under it says let your light shine. Back in the early 80s, Phoenix City Schools created a red dot, and that's all it was just a red dot. And they put it all throughout the city. They put it all, like seriously, they put it on storefront windows. They had red lollipops that they handed out at games. And I heard somebody in the audience, they said, was that you, Jasponica? Was that you that said? She said, we believe. And that's what it meant. It meant we believe. And then over time, they added the W-A for winning attitude. Okay? So we're bringing back the winning attitude to Phoenix City Schools. And I say that because I'm big on tradition and culture. My mentor is Dr. Carlton Jenkins, and he was the quarterback of the football team when they created the red dot. So I think the red dot has to come back with the let your light shine motto underneath it. And I don't mean to go on and on about this hat, but this is what I visualize. Let your light shine is not going to stop in Phoenix City. You can laugh, but it's not. I'm going to hand these hats to Thompson when they show up. And I'm going to tell them, we have a vision we want to spread throughout the nation of let your light shine. Will you take this hat? And that is my goal, is to spread. So I hope if there's 1,000 employees, if 50 of y'all wear this hat at a Saturday and you're in Publix or Walmart, I hope somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, what's that red dot mean? Well, I work for Phoenix City. We let our light shine. We have a winning attitude. We believe. That's what I hope. And I hope it spreads like wildfire. The next item, when you head out in just a second, that same table where you got your hat is a Chick-fil-A box. We're providing you lunch. And I say that because you still have a lunch break from 11:30 to 1:30. Okay? But some of you may want to go work in your classroom, so we bought you a lunch. Whether you're a certified or uncertified educator, I appreciate you. To the certified teachers, regardless, elementary, middle school, high school, special ed, let's give yourselves a round of applause. And to the classified people, to the secretaries, bookkeepers, paraprofessionals, maintenance, nurses, CMP, and bus drivers. I couldn't imagine being one. This school system wouldn't run without y'all. I recently told, I keep saying my mother, I recently told my mother, a school system can run without a superintendent. You just throw an interim in there and give them the label. But you can't run without classified and certified people. Y'all run the school system. Last but not least, I'm going to end it on these final 60 seconds. We all have implicit bias. Implicit bias is when you have an unconscious attitude or belief towards something. I mean, we all have it. Okay, it's not racism. We all have it. There's no way around it. So about 3 years ago, I hit rock bottom. And I reached out to the athletic director, Matt Bell. And I said, hey, man, I got something going on personally, yada, yada, yada. He said, Blake Russell. Call Blake Russell. So I call him and we meet and I tell him I need help. Okay? Now I'm just going to say this to you and I don't want to offend you. I was taken back because he's covered in tattoos. From his neck to his toes. And they're on the, and I'm taken back. I got implicit bias. I'm being honest. And I listened to him and he's telling me things to do. I said, okay, so we start doing it. He starts mentoring one of my children. And he still does it today. And I say that because you never know if you can make a difference in somebody's life. I never thought a former gangster, drug addict would be a mentor for one of my children. And he is. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all that Blake does for this community, all that he does. And about the implicit bias, my son started going to his church. And I asked him one day, I said, why don't you invite me and your mother to his church? He said, because you won't fit in. He said, you think you know it all. And he said, and you'll talk about everybody when you leave. Me and my wife have been going to his church for 1 year now. So I say, let your light shine. Do not have implicit bias. Love each other. Lift each other up. Let's make this the best school year. Let's help each other. Let's watch what we post on social media. If you have an issue, let's try to resolve the issue. And let's make Phoenix City Schools great. Okay? I love you. I appreciate you, and it is 11:21. We are going to dismiss for Institute, and you can get your Chick-fil-A box on the way out. Eric Robinson told me when you stand up, he hid 2 cards underneath seats. He taped them underneath the seats. So when you stand up, if there's a card underneath it, congratulations. Have a great school year.